press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, we have been discussing about one more natural fiber, that is silk. Okay, and in the previous class we have learned that silk is obtained from the silkworm. So what is the silkworm? It is the caterpillar form of the silk moth. Okay, so that is how we get the silk. And we have also studied the life cycle of the silk moth, that is the mulberry silk moth. Okay, the silk what we get from the mulberry moth is very soft, lustrous and elastic. Okay, and after getting the silk fibers we can dye it into different colors. Okay, so the qualities of the silk what we get from that silk moth is those silk fibers are soft, lustrous and elastic. Okay, so we don't just have this mulberry silk moth, we also have different types of silk moths, that is tussar silk, muga silk and kosa silk and still many more. Okay, but the quality, the texture of the silk are different from one another. Okay, like we had this wool. Okay, the wool from sheep is different from the goat to that of the camel. Okay, and that of the yak. The same way the silk moths what we have, they are different in structure. Also the silk they yield. Okay, the silk fiber what we get from those silk moths is different, very different from one another. Okay, so based on their quality of the silk, okay, we will obtain the silk fiber from those silk moths. Okay, so that we have seen, and we also have seen that the life cycle of the mulberry silk moth. Okay, there is this silk moth, it lays eggs on the leaves of the mulberry leaves, and then the eggs hatches. Yes, after hatching the silkworm. So this is the major form, a major life form in which it will be secreting a protein. Okay, so that protein when exposed to the air is hardened, and that is what we get the silk fiber. So while secreting it, it spins its head. Okay, it's in the form of egg. Okay, this is how it spins its head. Okay, small. That is the structure it makes. Likewise, it secretes that protein. So while spinning its head, while secreting, it makes outer covering for itself. Okay, and the next form what we get is the pupa. Okay, and inside, and that structure what we get is the cocoon. So because of this spinning around, we get this structure called cocoon, and inside it we have this pupa. Okay, so cocoon is the form from which we'll get this silk fiber. Okay, and the pupa converts into the next adult moth. Again the life cycle repeats itself. Okay, so this is how we'll get the silk fiber. Now in today's class, let us see what are the processes and how the rearing of silkworms is done. Okay, to get the silk. Okay, so let us see about the rearing of silkworm. So what is this rearing of silkworm? So the term what we use for this rearing of silkworm is sericulture. Yes, the rearing of silkworm to obtain silk is sericulture. Okay, so what is this rearing? Rearing is nothing but properly taking care of. Okay, we have to provide them proper food. Okay, proper atmospheric conditions in which they yield good. Okay, so that is the rearing. Okay, so we have to take proper care. Okay, how exactly do we take a proper care? Okay, we usually have this sericulture unit. Okay, sericulture is one of the important occupation in our country. Okay, so we have the sericulture units in which we have, bamboo trays. Okay, okay, I'm just drawing it small. These are very, two big structures. Okay, these are the bamboo trays what we have. And in these trays we'll feed them mulberry leaves. Okay, mulberry leaves, mulberry branches. Okay, And the silk moth only feeds on this mulberry. Okay, we have leaves here. Clear? We'll be having sericulture units in which these processes are done. So what are these processes? What is this rearing? Taking properly care of, because we are getting the most, most valuable silk from these silkworms. Okay, so that is the reason we have to properly take care of. Okay, if we take care of them properly, if we feed them properly, if we provide them a good atmospheric conditions, then they'll yield good. Okay, then we'll get a proper and good quality of silk. Okay, which has very high demand. Okay, that is why it is one of the good occupation. And in the units what we have, we'll be having this bamboo trays. Okay, in these trays mulberry leaves are put. So why is this leaves put here? Because there's this eggs. Okay, the eggs. Okay, they'll be having eggs all around. These are the eggs. And leaves are placed here. So even we have to proper take care of eggs also. Okay, because this is from eggs itself the life starts, right? So these eggs have to be given a proper hygiene condition. Okay, cleanliness have to be maintained. Okay, there are diseases, there are viruses, microorganisms which affects these worms and eggs. Okay, so this hygiene should be properly maintained. Okay, if they get diseased one, and yes, it affects the yield at last. So we have to take care of them properly. Yes, this is eggs are the ones from which the life cycle begins, right? So we have to take care of these eggs properly. Okay, what is the taking care of eggs properly? Providing them proper or required temperature and humidity. Okay, these eggs and worms, they'll be having a required amount of atmosphere what they need to hatch in a good way or something. So we'll have to provide a proper temperature. Okay, not too low, not too high. Okay, it affects them. So a proper temperature condition should be maintained, and also humidity also should be maintained. Okay, and yes, of course, hygiene also. We have to maintain the eggs very clean. Okay, so we have to take care of these eggs properly. Okay, and once when the moth lays eggs, there are hundreds of them. Okay, we'll be having many eggs when it lays for the one time when it lays hundreds of eggs. So what we do when these eggs, okay, these are given a warm condition. Okay, yes, these are given a warm condition, and yeah, they are placed in trays. So why the leaves are put here? Because soon after the egg hatches, the larvae feeds. Okay, they'll need food. Okay, so these eggs after hatching, okay, what is the next life form we get? That is a larvae. Okay, so these larvae feed on these leaves. That is, they feed on these mulberry leaves, and they vigorously eat mulberry leaves. Okay, so after hatching, so what happens here? After hatching, the next life form is the larvae, right? Larvae or caterpillar or the silkworm. Okay, that form eats vigorously. That is, they'll be eating nicely, they'll be eating day and night like anything. Okay, they'll eat vigorously, and we have to keep on providing the freshly cut leaves. Okay, we have to chop, we have to provide properly fresh leaves also, and even providing the leaves, while providing the food also, we have to take care these leaves are healthy. Even the plants and trees will be having infections, diseases and everything. Okay, we have to take care of that also, that what leaves we are providing for these worms are the healthy ones. Okay, so like that, even the leaves or the mulberry trees also we have to take care of. And okay, these larvae feeds on them, that is the leaves, and they eat vigorously for around 25 to 30 days. Okay, they'll be just eating day and night like anything, and while eating they get bigger and bigger in the sizes. Okay, it will be, yes, obviously the larvae will be too small when it's when it's hatches out. It's too small. While eating it, while eating it grows like anything, like it gets bigger and bigger, and then okay, so it achieves a certain size. Okay, so after around 25 to 30 days it will be eating, and after that it stops eating. Okay, that is it achieving a next stage of the life. So it starts secreting. So after eating for all these days, there is a time it stops eating and it starts secreting. So around 25 to 30 days we'll take out these worms. Okay, we'll take out these worms from this trays, from this bamboo trays, and we'll have one more structure in which we keep them. Okay, again these larvae are taken out from this, and there's one more structure in this. These are kept. Okay, again this is made up of bamboo. Okay, this is the structure what we have. Okay, and again here these cocoons are placed. Okay, that larvae forming cocoon, when they attain a stage while they are secreting, okay, we will be noticing once it starts secreting. So while it is secreting, we'll just move them out from these trays, and there's another structure. Okay, this is here will be the worms present. Okay. Okay, here everywhere. Okay, these are the worms. Okay, the larvae, these are the silkworms. Okay, they'll be secreting. Okay, while secreting, they'll be making the outer covering. Okay, they'll be spinning their head while secreting, and they'll be making the shiny secretion. Okay, which covers them. Okay, so everywhere these larvae are placed. Okay, and they'll be secreting. Okay, these are secreting. So when they start secreting, okay, they are shifted here and they'll be secreting, and yes, finally we'll get these cocoons. Okay, so we'll keep them everywhere. Okay, so here we have these cocoons. So yes, understood, clear, right? So these after eating day and night vigorously, after getting the proper nutrition to secrete, they'll be feeding on this only mulberry leaves, and after that after the eating, they'll start secreting. Okay, while secreting, we'll be noticing their secretion. Okay, once they start secreting, we just shift them to this structure so that it's more comfortable for them to secrete, and we can get good cocoons. So this is how this is where they are placed, and while secreting, these cocoons are formed. Okay, here these cocoons are formed, and we'll get the cocoons. We'll just take out these cocoons, and further cocoons are processed. Okay, clear? So this is a rearing of silkworm. Yes, right from the eggs, we have to take care of them properly, proper temperature, and yes, eggs hatches only in the warm condition. Okay, so we have to take care of them. That is, even in winters, they are not kept cold. Okay, so warm condition has to be provided. There is this lighting and everything, so to make them feel warm. So in the warm conditions, they hatches, and before hatching, there's this leaves already present here. That is how these larvae starts feeding. Okay, even while feeding the leaves, we have to take care what kind of leaves we are feeding. Okay, we have to feed them a good and nutritive leaves. Okay, once they start feeding on these leaves, okay, they eat nicely, okay. They'll be feeding like anything. They'll eat vigorously for around 25 to 30 days, okay. Day and night they'll be eating, and they'll get the, they'll get the energy, they'll get the nutrition to secrete this protein, okay. So while they start secreting, they are shifted here to one more structure, and this is where while secreting, this is how they make cocoons, okay. While secreting, there are many structures like this put here, and these are secreted, and again after attaining the pupa stage, and inside this pupa stage is present. Inside every cocoon there is this pupa, okay, the next life form of this worm, okay. So we'll take out this cocoon, and these cocoons are further processed, because cocoon is the one what we need, right? Cocoon, okay, the surface of the cocoon will be having this fiber, the shiny silk threads, okay, and these are processed further. So this is about the rearing of the silk eggs or silk worms. So that was all about the rearing, okay. Rearing is nothing but the taking care of, okay, providing them the required temperature, climatic conditions, okay. Likewise, we have to properly take care of them. So what is that rearing process? What is the term? Yes, rearing of that, all that is the processes what all we go through right from the beginning, okay, that is what we call sericulture, okay. Now let us see the processes. Okay. Now, yes, after the rearing, after doing everything, all the hard work, after providing all them the temperature and everything, we have got now the cocoon, okay. So that cocoon is the structure what we need, right? That is made into the silk fiber. So how exactly we take the silk fiber out, okay. So after that process, cocoons are weighed. Okay, they are weighed depending on their sizes, okay, and they are sorted out for the further processing. And then silk fibers from these cocoons okay, clear? So what happens after getting the cocoons? They are weighed, they are sorted out depending on their weight, and then these silk fibers, okay, these silk fibers are taken out from the cocoon, okay. What was the cocoon structure? Oval shaped, right? So whatever the surface present on this will be having a silk thread. So there is a shiny silk threads present on them, so that we have to be taken out, okay. So that is a fiber we'll get, okay. How is this process done? That is, cocoons are kept under sun or boiled, okay, or they are treated in steam. Okay, after having these cocoons will be boiled, okay, or they are kept in a sun, okay, just to provide them the heat. So this surface can just be softened and we can just take out the silk fiber, okay. So these cocoons are kept in a sun or boiled or given the steam to provide the warmness it needs, okay. So after that, okay, and this process of taking out the threads from cocoon for use as silk. Okay, and you got here one more term that you got to remember. See that the process of taking, we know that the cocoon, we are taking out the fibers to make the silk, right? So the process of taking out threads from this cocoon for making the further silk. So that process is called reeling of silk. Do remember the term reeling. So what is this reeling of silk? It is the process, okay, it is a process of taking out the threads from cocoon for using it as again as a silk. Okay, that process what we do is called reeling of silk, and this can be done using by machines. Okay, the removal is done in specialized machines. Okay, and those machines unwind the threads. Okay, clear? We'll be having machines to remove these fibers. Okay, manually it's too hard, very time consuming, and it's not economic, so we have these machines which just unwind the threads. Okay, so after that, this is where we'll get the fiber. Okay, again this it's not visible, I guess. Okay. Okay, so after unwinding the fibers, what do we have? What we have got? Silk fibers, right? So silk fibers are spun to get silk thread. Okay, and these silk threads are woven to make silk cloth. So clear? So we have after this process, reeling process. Okay, so reeling is done by machines. Okay, and this fiber, silk fiber is taken out. So after getting the silk fiber, these silk fibers are spun to get the silk threads. Okay, and these silk threads are woven to have the silk cloth. So finally we'll get the silk cloth. Okay, and after this reeling process, the fibers what we get are dyed. Okay, like the dyeing process in wool. Okay, we have seen we need different colorful colorful clothes, so that is why there's dyeing done. Okay, here also after this reeling process, coloring is done to the fibers. Okay, and those fibers are again spun to get silk threads, and those threads are used to form or to give a silk cloth. Okay, so this is the whole story of the silk. Okay, right from the starting, the life cycle of the silk moth, the rearing of the silk moths, and also the processing. Okay, so this is all about the silk, the most amazing and most fascinating fabric. Okay, that is the silk. Okay, now let's see how this silk was discovered. So how and where the silk was discovered first? Actually, when exactly this silk was discovered is not known, okay, the exact time. But it was first discovered in China. Okay, China is a country where this silk was first developed, okay, first invented or discovered. This was discovered in, yes, China. There is this queen, okay, the Chinese queen Shilong Qi. Okay, she is the queen. she was the queen. Okay. Yes, so once she noticed mulberry trees or mulberry leaves in her garden. So what happened, what she noticed was a damage in the leaves. Okay, there was damage in the leaves what she had in her garden, and what she noticed was there were some white color worms. Okay, there were some white color worms feeding on these leaves. She also noticed that they were spinning their head around, okay, to form a shiny material or something which was spinning around them. Okay, she just noticed. And one time what happened, while she was just sitting around that cocoon, yeah, now we know that structure is cocoon, right? So what we get after the spinning of that worm, so that structure fell in her cup of tea. Okay, so while that she noticed very closely that there is this shiny thread like material on the surface of this cocoon. Okay, so that's how they thought that, yeah, this is something important and this is something innovative. Oh, okay, so that's how it was discovered. And this, the secret, okay, they didn't reveal it to anyone that, yeah, yes, we got this, some shiny thread, and just, they didn't make up a story or something. They kept this for a many long years. Okay, for hundreds of years they kept this as a secret. They didn't reveal it to anyone that we have got some something amazing fabric we can made of. Okay, so it was a secret for hundreds of years, but what happened, the visitors, the travelers to that country, they somehow got to know and they revealed it to the other countries also. Okay, they went back to their countries and they revealed there's something very amazing structure what we have noticed in China, and they also tried, and yes, even everyone later on got to know about this fascinating fabric that is the silk. And now in India also it is one of the most important occupation, sericulture. Okay, and the silk fabrics are made used to make many kind of dresses, saris, sherwanis and everything. Okay, so it's mostly used in our country and in foreign countries also. Okay, so this is all about the silk. Okay, even the discovery of the silk. Okay, so first the silk was discovered in China and it was kept a secret for hundreds of years. Okay, later on all the countries and other people also got to know. Okay, so this is about the silk, and with this the chapter fiber to fabric comes to an end. Okay, and this chapter we have studied only about the natural fibers. Okay, what are these natural fibers? We studied of wool and silk, right? So wool is, we have also studied all the stories of both these fibers, right? We have studied completely in detail about how wool is made, right, from the hair of the animal to the wool fabric. Okay, and also the silk. Okay, silk is made from the silkworm, and how about this rearing, rearing and processing of the silk is done. Okay, this is how wool and silk are obtained. Okay, and in your higher classes you will study more about the artificial fibers. Okay, so this is all about the natural fibers, that is wool and silk. Okay, thank you.